Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video I'm going to take you through the week ahead analysis, highlight the news for the week and some charts of interest. So not too much high impact data compared to the week before. However, we do have some really important things to note. We do have the RBA governor speaking twice this week. We have the RBA governor speaking just before monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday and then again at the end of the week. So we could see a little bit of volatility coming into the Australian dollar this week. We then have a little bit of CPI data, so some inflationary data out of the UK and Canada, both looking to suggest that inflation is rising, and we have seen both central banks recently hike rates. So if inflation was to continue to rise, then it could be a reason for another hike to come. We also have Federal Reserve Chairman Powell testifying this week, testifying on Wednesday and Thursday. So we could see a little bit of volatility with the US dollar. We do have a US bank holiday going into Monday session. So just be aware if you are sort of intraday trade in the US session that volatility may be a little bit light. Going into the strength meter, so there's not actually that much difference with the strength meter this week. The only thing of note is the fact that the euro has continued to push a little bit lower. You can see from this blue line in here, you can see that prices continued to push to the downside. So that's the only sort of thing that we can see, is that the euro has continued to move a little bit lower from that reversal area. No other currencies at reversal points. The only thing that we do know is that the Swiss franc gained significant strength, and that's because the central bank hiked interest rate for the first time in a very long time. So the Swiss franc could continue to strengthen going into this week. So maybe you want to look at a potential euro-Swiss downside move in this week. Going on to euro dollar then, so obviously euro been getting weaker. We saw that euro rejected this sort of low volume pocket around about the 1060s, and we had a continuation for price to fall to the downside. This was mainly due to a lot of dollar data last week, and the dollar actually weakened aggressively and strengthened aggressively. So we had that sort of weakening initially, and then the strength came into the market. Now I think if the dollar is going to continue to strengthen further, we may watch this point of control area through here, and if price was to break through that point of control and hold below it, we could see some further declines back into these lows. If, however, we did start to see the dollar index fade a little bit, or the dollar start to just take a little bit of a breather from its recent strength, we could see a move back to the 1.06 area. If we break out of this high, then consider looking for opportunities back to this untested point of control around about the 106.90 area. Going on to pound then, so again, pound not really having a great week despite having a sort of bullish move throughout the sort of middle of the week. We ended up rejecting the 124 level and pushing back to the downside. Again, price resting at 122, but if the dollar is going to continue to strengthen, I think we could trade below these lows. If we were to break below these lows, 1.2 may be on the cards for pound. Alternatively, like I said previously, if the US dollar is going to weaken, then we could see another move back to 1.24, where we may get a secondary rejection, as it only is a low volume area. Kiwi was one to watch last week. We were talking about further downsides on Kiwi, especially back at the value area low. Price did reject that. We did see sellers coming into the market. However, if we look at the 4 hour, it does look like we've broken into new highs and new lows. And I think this is all going to depend on the risk sentiment in the market, especially with the US dollar as well. If we were to see risk re-enter the market, and let's say the stock markets move higher, I think the likes of Kiwi, Euro, Pound will also move higher on a bit of dollar weakness. If, however, stock market weakness continues, and then we could see a drop towards these lows through there. All going to depend on this market. The S&P 500, we do have Federal Reserve Chairman Powell speaking this week, testifying, so we could see some volatility in this market. Now, if we were to see a little bit of upside, I think what we could expect is for price to close the gap that we saw over last week, where price closed very aggressively into Friday's close. Monday's open, we saw a price gap to the downside. We haven't filled that gap yet, so if we were to come back, that area could be filled for either a continuation or a break back towards the highs. There is a very large volume area down around about 3,400, and if price was to push towards this area in here, I think we could see some buyers stepping in around that point. So I hope you enjoyed the video update. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.